Blessings, 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 my sports to the bone people. Back at it again with another video. Thank you all for checking this one out. Hope everybody's doing okay. Hope you're all having a fantastic day thus far. Well, we were all ready and waiting for West Indies versus New Zealand yesterday. But guess what? Mother Nature took its course. I tell you, rain, rain, rain. I mean, we got a chance to see a few overs of West Indies batting, and then the game was abandoned. We're going to talk about it a little bit. We're also going to be taking a look at, we're going to be talking some Super 50. Super 50 starts next week. Yes, my people, next week. And we see where a few teams, they have started to put out their squads. So, going to be zooming in on that a little bit. Plus, we're going to be talking about Captain Shoutout. Going to be zooming in on something that he said after the third T20, and I'm going to be talking about how we can implement those things going into the final one. So just give a listen here until the end, and you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Before we get started, my people, I want to say a big shout out to our captain, Shoutout. Today is his birthday. Yes, man, no easy task leading a West Indies team, You have to deal with everybody across the Caribbean. So, there's a lot of pressure, a lot of stress. But I want to say a big shout out to our captain. He continues to lead from the front. He's very consistent. He's putting together a good T20 career for himself. He's averaging 50 in ODIs. And we see, he's just making his way back into Test cricket. So, wish him all the best on the birthday. Hopefully we'll get some time to celebrate with his family and his teammates, right? He's on tour, so hopefully his teammates will spend some time with him and let him feel special. Big up to Captain Shea. All right, so let us just talk a little bit about last night. So last night, my viewers and subscribers, we were inserted and we didn't get off to a good start at all. I mean, we made it out of the power play without losing a bunch of wickets. We lost only 1 wicket, right? We lost only 1 wicket, but it was a slow power play. We actually finished on 38 for 1. That is where we were when the game was called off, because of rain. 38 for 1, 6.3 overs, right? Ali Carthanes was removed after scoring some runs. He got 21 from 18 with 2 sixes and 1 4. Amir Jangu was still at the wicket. Seems as if he was just about to try and shift gears. But, during the power play, it was really slow for him. Found it difficult to get the ball to the boundary. Faced quite a few dot balls before, he got a couple of fours. 2 fours to basically get up to 12 of 18 before the umpires decided that was it. Shoutout was there and 3 having faced 3. But something that Shoutout said coming out of the third game, after we lost the third game, was that, they always want to try and get a good start in the power play. Not only necessarily in the power play, but in the early part of the game, so that in the latter stages, we can really give ourselves the best chance. We know we have the power hitters to come. Not all the time it's going to come off, but we have the likes of Ravman Powell, Romari Shepherd, Springer, who is in the team now. And if Shoutout bats deep, Jason Wooler sometimes, we have those guys that will come in and they will try to, get the ball over the fence. But we have to make sure that we are really and truly maximizing from early. Obviously we are playing against a team that is good. They are ranked above us. So it's not like it's men versus boys out there. It's not like we're going up against children. So they are going to be bowling. As a matter of fact, they bowled pretty well in the power play. I'm saying that Alec and Django didn't have the fastest of starts, yes, but they bowled well. The line was good, the length was good. There were a few bars that I personally believe we could have put away, but generally speaking, they were keeping it tight during the power play. We came out losing only 1 wicket, so at any time we probably could have teed off in the back end, because we were still going with some wickets, even though we would have to see how we would do in the middle overs in terms of rotating the strike and so forth. So I agree with Shay Hope that we definitely need to try and get a start where we can, use the power in the back end to get us there. It was also talking about making sure that we are there or thereabout, so that, whether if we are chasing our bowling, mostly chasing, making sure that we take it right down to the end where we give ourselves a chance to basically get across the line. So last night we didn't get a chance to really see much, my people, because of rain. But we are hoping that when we go into the final game, which I think is Wednesday, we can level the series. By winning the third game, New Zealand made sure that they can't lose the series. So if we win the fifth and final game, then it means that the series will end 2-2. So that is what we need to do. New Zealand cannot lose the series, but they can win it. Right? They are leading 2-1 now, so we need to go and win the final one so we can end this series 2-2. Now, just before we finish, my people, I just want to remind you guys that the the Super 50 tournament starts next week. Next week Wednesday, I think that is. Yeah, man, next week Wednesday. And definitely looking forward to the teams going out there and doing some work. So next week Wednesday we start. We have Leeward Islands versus Windward Islands. We have Jamaica versus Guyana. We have Trinidad and Tobago versus Barbados. And remember, they had indicated that they are they are hosting the games. They start compacting things, as they look to save or to, reduce spending and things. So very interesting there. A few teams, I've seen the squads for a couple of teams already. Later on today, I will probably do a video, going through the squads, so we can have an idea of the players that are up, that are there. We know that. Well, I wouldn't even say that we know, but when it comes on to our cricket, the Super 50 is what, according to CWI, they look at to really see, who they can pull into the ODI squad. So it's always interesting to see if we're going to have anyone rising up. Over the last couple of years, we have seen guys, stepping up, and some of them, they got the opportunity, or they are getting the opportunity. Some probably scored some runs, but they are not a part of the plan. But it's always interesting to see in these tournaments, whether or not we're going to have youngsters coming through and getting runs, or it's going to be the same same players over and over. Over the last couple of years, we would have seen people like Kevlin Anderson, batting and doing okay for Guyana. In the 4-day championship in Super 50, we see Amir Jangu coming through. Akeem Ogi is another player that we have been watching from the under-19 level coming through. There are a few players that over the last few years they would have gotten an opportunity, but generally speaking, we see quite a few of the established players, still dominating. So, but I always try to pay attention to these tournaments to see, who are the players that could be next in line, because at the end of the day, a man might score 400 or 500 runs. At a healthy average, and he's probably still not a part of the plan. Man might take 20 odd wickets at a good strike rate economy, and he's still not a part of the plan. So, it's always interesting to see how it goes. But later on today, though, my people, I'm gonna go through a couple of the squads, and we can see what the teams are working with. Big up.